So the world's biggest loser, Donald Trump, is losing yet again. And we're talking about losing the trade war that he started. This is the headlines coming out today. Apple, Nvidia score relief from US tariffs with exemptions. So they're already changing their policy. It's happening every single day. Listen to Karen Levitt just a few days ago.
On the other hand, countries like China, who have chosen to retaliate and try to double down on their mistreatment of American workers, are making a mistake. President Trump has a spine of steel, and he will not break, and America will not break under his leadership. He is guided by a firm belief that America must be able to produce essential goods for our own people and export them to the rest of the world.
Okay, so I'm not against America making stuff. I want to make that clear. But the thing is, like the White House, their vision of what that means keeps changing. And the way that they're doing this stuff, I feel like Trump is just at home watching Fox News. And whenever Fox News says on that particular day, he's like, hey, we should totally do that. So what's killing them right now is, they are basically trying to promote, let's bring all these high-tech jobs back to USA. Let's slap a bunch of tariffs and encourage these jobs to come, right? People are already making fun of Trump. This is the art of capitulation. And basically what this is we're talking about high-tech jobs. Could we manufacture this stuff in USA? Be it smartphones, and these are the ones that are the new tariff exemptions, be it smartphones, computers and similar devices, machines for data transmission, computer parts, computer monitors, integrated circuits and semiconductors, machines to manufacture semiconductors, flat panel displays, flash drives, semiconductor devices. So there's a whole bunch of categories in here that are exempt from the tariffs. And what was hurting them is that when reports kept coming out of like, okay, if we made a smartphone / iPhone in USA, how much would it cost? One Wall Street analyst was like $3,500. You had other reports saying like, what about $2,150? And it just wasn't flying over politically. So these days, it seems they've given up on trying to make iPhones in USA. I guess it's not happening. Now we're shifting the focus. This is what the White House is saying recently. This is what we're going to do this.
For 4 long years, Joe Biden and congressional Democrats tried to abolish the American coal industry. They did everything in their power while he was awake, which wasn't much, shutting down dozens of coal plants, banning coal leases on federal lands, and putting thousands and thousands of coal miners out of work.
So when in doubt, if you're Trump, blame Joe Biden. That's always the problem, right? Of course. And then now I guess we're promoting bringing coal jobs back. I looked up this stuff a bit. What they're doing, this is just today, April 12th, 2025. The U.S. Interior, right, that they're doing PR stuff on how coal mining jobs are awesome and how we need this stuff, and it's going to be really important. They're doing PR stuff on steel, right, these kind of jobs. And it's interesting, I've also been seeing that they want to roll back laws to get children to work in factories or whatever, right? Loosen child labor laws. This is the kind of PR that they're doing. So I just want you guys to see kind of their plan. Before it was, hey, we're going to bring back making an iPhone in USA. It looks like they've kind of folded on that. Now they're trying to push coal mining jobs, which is a dying industry because frankly, it's really, really dirty. And listen to the Fox News, what they have to say about that. Just watch.
We quite literally just got out of the mine shaft just a couple of minutes ago, where we went 1,800 feet underground, as well as 10 miles. I think I may have gotten some coal in my system, and 10 miles to the west as well. Now, I want to talk about why the mine shaft and what we did down there is important.
So as you can see, like even on Fox News report where they're trying to tell you how awesome coal jobs are and how awesome the coal industry is, she's like, man, I even got some in my system. like it's a dirty job, right? And Fox News even goes on to say, hey, we're gonna do these coal things. This is why we need to do it. They're pushing that we need this energy for AI. I've told you guys this stuff before. This AI stuff and crypto stuff is largely a scam with Elon Musk and Donald Trump promising you that it's all going to make us a bunch of money. But the whole purpose of this stuff is to basically replace you. So a lot of these things don't make a lot of sense, and it uses a lot of power. Have a listen to Fox News, what they have to say about that.
The executive order also asks the Energy Department to designate coal as a mineral for use in new technologies. It also ends the Joule moratorium. Very important here. It's the legislation that banned leasing for coal plants on federal lands. And last year, coal production generated just 15% of U.S. energy, whereas in 2001 it was 50%, with 800 plants closing in that time.
So what they're going for, and I understand what they're doing politically, is they're saying, guys, we've lost all these coal jobs. We need to get everyone back to the coal mines and going again. And look, we only have 15% of our energy from coal. So for me, when I look at these kind of charts and read about the coal jobs, it's really, really dirty. And we've replaced coal in terms of power. We found cleaner ways to do it. Hopefully we can develop better technology for wind or solar or whatever, right? Alternative and cleaner energy. I don't think it's a crazy thing to say. You want a sustainable environment. And so the way that Fox portrays this is like, oh, it's such a shame that we've lost coal. It used to be 50% of our power. We need to go back because that's when we're strong and we were making stuff. And it's it's not going to happen. I don't know how to break it to you. It's not going to happen. And then on top of that, if they try to bring, say, more modern manufacturing, like say with the iPhones, cost wise, it doesn't seem to make sense either. So they're selling this pipe dream of these jobs that don't or aren't going to materialize, in my opinion. And this has been a long running thing. And I pull up movie because whenever I think about understanding the world or places that I haven't done, because I haven't worked in a steel mill. I've never worked in a coal mine. I did work on farms baling hay. I did pick berries as a kid. I did work in factories a bit. These were temporary jobs when I was in high school. It's a long story, but basically I had a friend in high school whose uncle had a temporary service, and then you could call in every week. And if you want to work, various type of manufacturing jobs, you could. There was always work there. But it was monotonous, it was hard on your body, and it's not something I really wanted to do. And actually talking out loud, just thinking about it, I even worked in a frame store. This was in college, like you were putting frames together, and basically you were shaving off metal, but this little metal dust particles were really, really unhealthy, basically, if you breathe that stuff in. So it's funny, I hadn't thought about that job for a while, but I did that for a couple of weeks and realized, man, it's a pretty dirty job as well. But point being, though, is I'm bringing up this movie Rudy because it's about a kid whose family works in the steel mill, and he wanted to go to college, and they all thought he was crazy. Or this was a movie that I also identify with because I like this kind of movies. I think they're good things to talk about. These are also books, and these are also based on real people and real stories. October Sky, it's about a kid in West Virginia. His family basically works in the coal mines, but he wants to go and study space science, and he ends up becoming a NASA engineer. Now, I understand that not everyone's going to be a NASA engineer. I completely get that. But I don't necessarily think that, say, telling everyone that working in the coal mines is going to be a good life. This is like a scene from the movie, and it's a really powerful scene where you just see what that type of job is. Like you literally go underground, and it's really, really dirty. And then on top of that, not only is it really, really dirty job, we may find better, and we are finding better ways to power all of our stuff. And then also something I want to mention as well is the American consumption of power is, way over bounds. Like this whole system is unsustainable. We have to figure out ways like how can we limit our power usage, be more efficient the way that we do that, and also find new and alternative energies. But the Trump people want to go backwards. This is from articles from the New York Times back in when Trump was, first president again in 2016. So this is from 2017. Coal mining jobs Trump would bring back no longer exist. Again, talking about automation and new industries and new power way. The coal industry is back, Trump proclaimed. It wasn't. Then you have this, right? Trump signs aimed at reviving the struggling coal industry. That's recently. So he's trying to do the same stuff again. It's all nonsense. This is a chart. I think this one was the New York Times. They're just showing how we're planning to retire a lot of these plants. It's just these jobs aren't coming back. And I know it's unhappy to talk about for people who are hoping that they do come back, but I don't think it's clean. I don't think it's safe. And I don't think it's a viable or sustainable future, right? And so what the Trump people are doing, I feel like, is they're trying to turn us all, back in time to like the I don't know what this would be, 1950s, I guess, industries. They want to cut education, and they're going to make whatever excuse that they want to cut education. So in this situation, it's Maine, and we disagree with what you think about trans people. My statements on this stuff, it's always the same for me. It's such a minor issue. If someone wants to call, themselves by whatever name or wants to, wear whatever clothes, I'm fine with that. It doesn't really affect my life at all. And it's such a small portion of the population, but the Trumpy people, they want you to focus on that particular issue. Like that's the most groundbreaking thing. They cut your education and then they tell you to go work in the mines. That's kind of what we're going at. I know it doesn't sound very nice, but that's what the Trump people are talking about. On top of that, what's kind of interesting is I noticed in China that they've been trolling Trump pretty well, actually, to be perfectly frank. And they're actually now playing Kennedy. Before it was Reagan, now it's Kennedy. Have a listen to this.
And we must face the fact that the United States is neither omnipotent nor omniscient, that we are only 6% of the world's population, and that we cannot impose our will upon the other 94% of mankind, that we cannot right every wrong or reverse each adversity, and that therefore there cannot be an American solution to every world problem.
And it was interesting because I actually read the transcript of the continuation of that part of his speech. This is Kennedy. This is what Kennedy said. These burdens and frustrations are accepted by most Americans with maturity and understanding. They may long for the days when war meant charging up San Juan Hill, or when our isolation was guarded by two oceans, or when the atomic bomb was ours alone, or when much of the industrialized world depended upon our resources and our aid. But now, know that those days are gone, and that gone with them are the old policies and the old complacencies. And they know, too, that we must make the best of our new problems and our new opportunities, whatever the risk and the cost. And I mean, it's so crazy that, in order to fight Trump's agenda or propaganda, or however you want to say it, Chinese propaganda is now using old American speeches from Reagan and Kennedy. And I even get inspired from hearing Reagan and Kennedy, right? It's like, it's such a bizarro world that we live in, but this is where we are. And some of the things that I try to do on the channel is just to get you thinking outside the box of what the Americans, or the better way to say, the Trumpies and the Muskie type of Americans want you to think. So, for example, this is what Musk is promoting on his social media right now. So basically, he's saying, "Hey guys, we have this awesome robot driving," and he has this account. He's promoting Tesla comments. He's like, "Oh, this is what it says. It says, I don't know about you guys, but this is how I have my morning coffee in the morning." And you're driving in a Tesla, drinking your coffee and going past the FedEx truck, etc. And they want you to think about, this is the only way to ever think about your life, is that you're going to be in a car and you're going to consume something. And I guess now we're drinking our coffee in our car. Now, the reason why I'm pointing this particular thing out is because if you only look at Trump or Musk media, you think, okay, I'm going to work in a coal mine and I'm going to drive a car. That's literally what they're telling you here. And just think about the alternative. What if this day and age, instead of driving around in a car, drinking our coffee, we could work from home? Just imagine that. Or what if in this day and age, you could take a bicycle to work, or you could walk to work? Think about that. I'm telling you, there's other ways to think about life. And so I'll give you an example. This is something that I think is pretty awesome, to be perfectly frank. This is in Paris, so France. It says, Paris approves making 500 streets car free. They actually voted on this. I think this was a couple weeks ago. And if we have any members of the community that are in France, please let me know. I'd like to hear your thoughts, how well they implemented it. They did an earlier thing before, and I guess it was popular, and they basically expanded it. So they're getting rid of cars. And the recent article that just came out today, I think this was the Washington Post, says here, Paris said au revoir to cars. Air pollution maps reveal a dramatic change, right? So less driving, less consumption. We don't need so much steel anymore. We don't need so much coal, less power consumption. Like, this, multiple reasons why you'd want to get rid of cars. And suddenly, like, air is really, really clean. It's not really that hard to figure out, but we live in this weird gaslit world, with the Trumpies and the Musks that just always want you to use as much power as possible. And it's just, giving you guys a different point of view. This is Paris in 2015. This is Paris in 2023. I think Paris is a fantastic city, and it's awesome that they're getting rid of cars. On our channel, on our V-Like channel, if you want to watch, occasionally my wife and I, we make videos about, bicycling around. I think bicycles are awesome. I wish it was promoted more in American cities. I know in Europe, we've had this conversation before. I believe it's Amsterdam is a really, really big bicycle city. I think there are others. I think actually the in Switzerland are big on the bicycles also. I can't speak to, other parts in Europe. You guys can let me know. But I can tell you in Asia, bicycles are really, really popular. And we do it here, or we just walk. And it's not just walking, it's mass transportation. So I just want you to think about other ways of thinking about the world. developing new technologies, building city infrastructures, better public transportation. These are the kinds of things that'll produce jobs and push us forward and make for a better world, opposed to trying to go back in time and make us all work in the coal mines, which apparently is what Trump's and Musk's vision of the future is. So I do appreciate your time, everyone. I'd like to hear your thoughts, and catch you all in the next video.